Miss Massey, and I am one of our COSAs. Today is our debates for the 2025-2026, which I can't believe I'm saying that, year ahead. With me is our COSA team. Mr. Velasquez is in the house, Mr. Glorios, Miss Robinson-Bynum, Miss Yvette might be here, and Mr. Kalin, who helps us in the COSA office with SGO and NHS. I just want to say that these to my left are our wonderful candidates. Each grade and the SGO student body president and vice president will be debating today. Please give them your undivided attention and fair to all who are debating. I do want to put a little bit of a disclaimer in to share that all of these candidates have wonderful goals and ideas. But they do have to go through the COSA team and administration to make things happen. So I just want you to know they want to do changes and they have plans ahead. And we will try our best to make these plans a reality. But we do have to get approval from Mr. Newman with things, just so you're aware. All right, so without further ado, I welcome also our first moderator of the evening, late afternoon, is Mr. Tahan. Chen is our student body president, is acting as our stage manager timer this evening. So welcome them. I turn it over to you, Mr. Tahan. Good luck, all candidates. Here you go. Take a deep breath. Thank you.
Testing 1, 2. So our first debate is the SGO cabinet. First VPs and presidents. VP candidates, can you introduce yourselves first?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ariel Segura. I am a sophomore in the LES major and running to be your SGO vice president.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Durdona Melisova, and I'm also a sophomore in the Law and Society major, and I am running to be your SGO vice president this year.
Thank you, VP candidates. Now, president candidates, can you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Yaye-Madjiguene Drame, but most people know me as Madge. I'm a junior in the finance major, and I'm running to be your SGO president for the 2025-2026 school year.
Hi everyone, my name is Brielle Hall. I'm a junior in the brand new neuroscience major, and I'm happy to be running to be your SGO president next year.
All right. Yeah, we're going to stop right here, so thank you for your introductions. All right, so thank you. So we're going to start the debate, and once again, we are starting with the VPs and then presidents. So the VPs are going to be Ariel and So your first question would be, and it's going to go to Donna first. What leadership experiences have you had that will directly affect your success in this position?
Yeah, so talking a little about my experience this year. Currently, I am the sophomore president today, and I serve the student body for the sophomores. Through this, I've been in SL for 2 years. I've been a committed member, in which case I've led many events, including Culture Fair, also helped along with CosplayCon, movie night, and other events for the sophomores and even freshmen last year. I think this is a really good experience and something that makes me very qualified. Along with this, I also have experience with the Alumni Foundation by tutoring kids with Alumni Foundation. We work to tutor kids for SHSAT, allowing them to give more opportunities, which I believe allows me to build teamwork and communication with people. I also have experience being on SLT, which is a school leadership team, in which case I serve with Newman, helping people and advocating for change within our academic life, including curriculums and etc. I think this is making me a really good qualifier. I am also an exec in 2 other clubs, including Red Cross, which is a volunteering, and also the Central Asian.
Thank you, Donna. Ariel, you get the same question. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Sure.
Okay. What leadership experiences have you had that will directly affect your success in this position?
Right, so I think that the first thing to highlight is my experience in sophomore leadership. I've been in both freshman leadership and sophomore leadership. I've been leading different events and been the committee chairperson for the movie night last year, and for this year, the CosplayCon. I've also helped out with other events. But to point out some of my other executive roles, I'm the director of the parliamentary debate team and the parliamentarian of Unidos, the Latino Student Union here at Brooklyn Tech. with the parliamentary debate team, I've had the opportunity to organize various different, I'd like to say complicated events where we have to figure out how we get to tournaments. In fact, this year we had the opportunity to go to California, and that was a headache to figure out, but one figured out nonetheless. But within UNILO specifically, I think I want to point out there that I had the chance, and I still have the chance, to advocate for students of Latino descent, specifically to make the school community a better place for them. This year we've had different conversations with administrators, specifically Mr. Newman, in order to make the school better. And I think that using these skills developed from these different extracurriculars, that can be a great SGO Vice President.
All right, thank you. Ariel, you're going to stay up there. So the way we're going to run this debate is it's alternating. So if I start with Dona, it's going to be Ariel, and then Ariel going to go and rotate it. And you guys will be getting the same questions, so I'll keep the same questions for you guys, all right? So Ariel, you're going to start off with this question, all right? What have you found to be the difficult part of being a member, not a leader, of an organization, and how did you handle the situation?
At least for me, I think that my work style is very particular, as in, like, if I have an idea for something, I want to execute it in a very specific way. And sometimes when I'm a person that's sitting in the back seat as compared to the driver's seat, I have a little bit of a problem, you know, seeing the way that things are executed in other people's minds. And throughout this year and throughout last year, I feel like I've been able to improve on both of those, on that singular account. And been able to allow people to take more of a control into things, allow them to take more creativity into things. I think that one aspect of being a leader isn't only, you know, being yourself and creating what change you want to make, but also helping those around you become better leaders themselves. And with the opportunities that I've gotten to lead different groups throughout this school year and last school year, I've had the opportunity to allow other people to develop their own leadership skills.
All right. Thank you, Ariel. Thank you. So Dona, you're going to get the same question, I'll repeat it. What have you found to be the difficult part of being a member, not a leader, of an organization, and how did you handle the situation?
So the biggest part that I love is advocacy, but also holding other people accountable. I think it's very important to hold others accountable for their mistakes, but also allow them to grow, because when we hold people accountable, we allow them to grow and also acknowledge what is going on in that situation. And as a member, I kind of felt it difficult to step back from the leadership position in the sense that focus more on my individual self rather than the team itself. So I would focus less on kind of like, I would struggle with the idea of holding others accountable. So in the sense that I would hold other people accountable when in reality that is not my position too. So as a member, I would struggle with this, but I also acknowledge the idea that many of the times people are passionate about so many different things and they want to execute it differently. So I try to be inclusive and have an environment in which every single person is able to grow for themselves and show their individualism for themselves too.
So Dona, you're going to stay up there. I'm going to pick my next question. Ready? Can you unpack your character and describe how it plays into conflict resolution? Let me repeat the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you unpack your character and describe how it plays into conflict resolution?
Yeah, so a big part of my character, like I mentioned before, is having passion and holding people accountable. But the idea of passion and holding, kind of giving more experience and like trying to build a network for myself is the sense that I have trouble with passion and giving time for other people to grow. I think this is something that is very important for leadership, but also is very important for a person himself to grow. I think it's a difficulty for me in the sense that when I'm passionate about something, I tend to kind of leave it on to other people, so hold them more accountable for things, but also tell them to get stuff on time. But I need to acknowledge the sense that everyone grows at different paces and everyone is passionate about different things, in which case it's something that is difficult for me. However, I also believe this is a really big, important thing that helps me with leadership in the sense that I'm able to have the passion and allow for other people to grow too, because they kind of develop it from myself too.
Thank you, Dona. Ariel, want me to repeat the question for you?
Please do.
Okay. Can you unpack your character and describe how it plays into conflict resolution?
At least for me, I think the best part of my character that allows me to deal with conflict resolution and mediating said situations is being direct. I think that a lot of times people sugarcoat things out of, a want to not be direct, a want to avoid conflict and confrontation. But one thing that I've found confidence in is it's always best to be direct, it's always best to be honest. At least from what I've seen, if you're direct and you tell someone, hey, the committee really needs this to be done, because if this isn't done, this entire event is going to have a really hard time running, they're more willing to understand, seeing that we're actually telling them the effect that's going to happen. Rather, if you were to tell someone, hey, we need this done, not now, but that we need this done as soon as possible, they're more likely to take their leeway with it. And I think that applies to many other situations, no matter whether it's being a leader or being a person. If you have a problem with someone, you want to directly, answer it, and I think that that's best done with that personality.
Great. All right, thank you. Here's a question to lower the stakes a little. So I think it's an easy one. If you were to be a Discord mod of 1,000 members, how would you moderate the server?
I think that you have to appeal to everyone's needs in that situation, and I think that's similar to the position that me and my fellow students are running for. It's something that you have to figure out not only what one group wants, but what everyone wants. I think that within said Discord server, you want to have channels not only for school, you want to have channels for different interests, you want to be able to appeal to those that are really academically locked in, but as well you want to appeal to those that, just want to talk about, League of Legends, or want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, etc. And, if you don't appeal to those people, then slowly either that number will stop growing or that number will start going down, and you don't want that to happen. I think applying that to the leadership position that I'm applying for and running for in this situation, I have to be able to appeal not only to one group in the majority, but I have to appeal to the minority as well.
Thank you, Ariel. So don't you get the same question?
Could you please repeat your question?
If you were to be a Discord mod of thousands of people, how would you manage the server?
Yeah, I would manage the Discord server by being an effective communicator. So being a very active person in the Discord, in the sense that giving many updates and allowing for other people to understand and acknowledge what's going around them. I think this is really important, and through communication also, how Ariel said, building off of people's interests. So understanding that when we have activity and when we have people that are showing up and doing things, we're able to help them actually be together in the Discord server and allow them to actually acknowledge and take part in things within the Discord server. I think it kind of connects back to our leadership position that we're running for, in the sense that you have to be an active person in order for people to actually appeal to you, and in order for people to even listen to you, or even for you to acknowledge other people's perspectives. I think this is a really big thing, in the sense that I should also, I think I would be a fit candidate because I acknowledge others and I am very active within SGO too.
So now we'll go back to the serious questions. So your question would be, how have you demonstrated your commitment to the class of 2025? That's what it says here. 2027.
Yeah, I have demonstrated... Sorry, could you please repeat your question?
Okay. How have you demonstrated your commitment to the class of 2027?
Yeah, I have demonstrated my commitment through becoming the sophomore president. I think being the sophomore president has allowed me to show my biggest commitment in itself, in the sense that I dedicate and advocate for their needs, and I also acknowledge their needs. So many times when people bring up issues, for example, the big issue that we had this year with the 3 AP limits, I was able to bring it up to Newman, in the sense, because I am the sophomore president and I acknowledge issues within our community. I think this is a really big important thing that shows my demonstration and my commitment to the sophomore class. And also I've done this through bringing it up in my meetings with him and talking to him about opening up other activities and other extracurriculars for people with the less opportunities because of the AP limit. And then also I've shown my commitment by showing up to events and going to every single event and and helping facilitate each event. So I was able to help people actually do the event on the day, but also plan the event ahead of time. I've also showed my commitment through communications and allowing people to know what's going on within our social media and etc.
Thank you. All right, you're gonna get the same question. How have you demonstrated your commitment to the class of 2027?
All right, I think to answer this question, I want to refer back to two of the extracurriculars that I mentioned, both SGO but also Unidos. Starting off with SGO, I think the important thing that I want to highlight here is that I've been quite active, I'd like to say. I've volunteered at different events, Culture Fair, Cosplay Con. I've been able to create, help make a committee where different events are included, different ideas to create different events. Cosplay Con had 5 different events running at particularly the same time, both the scavenger hunt and the different performances. All of these things had to get managed, and it was in order to get the different interests of people. But as well, focusing in on Unidos just a little bit, I've been able to represent the minority, one of the minority groups here at Brooklyn Tech, and allow them to be seen by speaking directly with administrators and to ensure that their ideals and just their thoughts are represented within our administration in order to make this school a great place, and I think that shows my commitment.
All right, thank you. So it's funny that you mentioned Cosplay Con, because I'm going to ask you my next question for the both of you. So I guess Ariel, since you're here first, what did you think you did well with Cosplay Con, but also what is something that you do better?
I think that what I really loved about Cosplay Con is as I mentioned in the last question, we had so much variety of things to do, and I think the great thing about that is that it allows, once again, for people to be represented based on the different interests that they have. It allows people to always have some sort of different thing to engage in at that event, and I think that made it different from, for say, Culture Fair, where you only had clubs, food, and some performances to see. You could always engage in something. You could always go to another club, do another activity, and get another sticker on your bingo card. You could always go ahead and watch another performance. You could go to the Maid and Butler Cafe. But I think that very similarly to that, with though so much to manage, it was very difficult to keep the event on schedule, and it was seen within the event that we ended up going behind schedule. I think next year there needs to be detailed plans as to how every singular step is going to work at every moment and at every time.
Thank you. So now you get the same question. So what did you think that you did well when you did Cosplay Con, and what was something that you would probably do better?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Cosplay Con was it was such a really good and engaging event, like Ariel mentioned, in the sense that we had so much engagement and it was intricately planned out, and we were able to kind of develop people, like other people, and like tell them to take initiative when kind of like developing our committee. But I think a very big flaw within Cosplay Con was the sense that it wasn't as well organized and as it could have been. I think a lot of the times we kind of get focused on our own individual interests when we kind of forget that we're also trying to run an event for a whole entire school with 6,000 students. I think this was a really big mistake because although we appealed for a lot of people, I believe sometimes it's important to acknowledge the reality of it, that we can't manage all of this, but also we should rather take less on our plate and make more of the things that we do take instead.
Thank you. All right, so since you're up there, here's your question. As VP, how do you support your class cabinet?
Yeah, so as VP, I have 3 main goals. Number 1 would be fostering a better community between students and teachers. I think a lot of the times we see that teachers and students forget to engage within each other. I believe that although we have like teachers teaching students, a lot of the times students forget that they are able to talk to their teachers about things that they're going through, that everything is going on within the world. And I believe it's a very important thing in order to foster a better communication between them. And kind of, I think by being the vice president, I would foster this idea by being the bridge between the 2 groups, allowing for people to connect better with their teachers by holding different events, including like Q&A sessions, or even talking more about like academic academic life and how everything works within the academic system. So in reality, how maybe the 3 AP limit or other different academic related things, like the different courses that we have also. I think this is really important. And then my second would be also fostering and showing, thank you.
Thank you. So are you going to get the same question? How would you support your Catholic or student body as VP?
Right, so I think I want to break this question up into 2 parts, both the class cabinet and student body. I'll start with the student body because I have that memorized. There are 3 main things that I want to do for our student body. I want to bring more transparency, I want to bring more spirit, but I also want to bring more advocacy. I think that there's a lot more effective ways that communication can occur for our student body. For example, daily emails. I think we need to prioritize more important information and think we need to shout out, days off, etc. I think, for example, the information regarding the cafeteria being closed and alternatives, I think that information could have been sent out earlier, and I want to push for more effective communication to occur. Regarding spirit, I think it's really important that, we still hold the school spirit. I want to hold more school-wide events that promote interconnectivity amongst the different groups. But lastly, for advocacy, I want to see more connection between the administration. But on top of that, I want to see more policies, specifically academic policies, and real importantly, I want to see the enforcement of the homework policy, which we don't see very often, to ensure that kids are having their great mental health. Regarding the cabinet specifically, I think it's just important that I do my part, I do my work, and I go above and beyond with that.
Alright, so now we're going to head to closing statements. And you have 30 seconds to close up, all right? So Ariel, you can begin.
I think if there's one thing that I want you to leave this debate hearing, it's that I truly have very specific things that I want to narrow down on. I think that one candidate can't do everything, and I think that, as a candidate, I not only have to consider what the student body wants, but also what the administration is going to let me do. My plan allows for that because it is taking an approach that both works with the administration, but also appeals to the student body. And I hope that you vote for Ariel as a result of that.
Passion, dedication, and education, and also passion itself, again, is very important qualities that make someone stand out compared to others. I believe I foster all of these amazing qualities by also giving you the passion that is needed in order to actually run. I want to create better communication between teachers and students. I want to make more clubs and engagement within our tech world, because in 6,000 students, when we have such small groups, it's hard to be seen. So, vote. It's your voice, so vote for your VP, Durdona Melisova. Thank you.
Round of applause for our candidates, please. Thank you. All right, so now we'll begin our debate for the presidents, all right? So as before I ask the question, we're going to start with Madge first, and then we'll switch over to Brielle, right? Okay. Okay, your first question is, why are you running for this specific position? And then Brielle goes.
So I think the role of president is very specific because I know that it's a position that a lot of us know. We know the name, we know what it means to be president. But more specifically, I think that something that differentiates president between the rest of student council or cabinet is the initiative that you are forced to take. The president is meant to represent the student body. You are the face of not only the student body, but you're the face of your cabinet, you're the face of the council, and you're the student face of the school. And I think that what's important in that is being able to accurately represent and advocate for change. And I want to be president because I'm dedicated in doing so. I want to bring change to the school. I want to bring up my initiatives, and I want to speak for the students to represent the students. And I think that in being president, it allows like a specific avenue to be able to do so in a clear and concise way. Because I believe that change can be done no matter who you are, but specifically in being president, it gives you that avenue to do so. Thank you.
So Brielle, you'll get the same question. Why are you running for that specific position you're running for?
So first again, hi, my name is Brielle. I'm running to be SGO president. I've really enjoyed being SGO vice president this year and running the big events that all of you know that we do. But it's also brought me a lot of insight into things about SGO that people are still confused about and things that they'd like to improve, such as transparency or being able to bring their issues up to the school and to the administration. So I really want to be able to continue planning our events, but focus on those issues like transparency. And I think the experience I've gotten as vice president this year has given me insight on how I can really do those things in a way that is within the realm of the abilities we have as a student government organization. And I would say that being sophomore treasurer 2 years ago also really showed me the benefit of teamwork. I've obviously worked as a team with others this year as well, but working with my SL, working with the students in my committee, I've really seen the benefit of getting things done while, not stepping on anyone's toes, while valuing everybody's input. And I think bringing that experience to being president, I can get my goals done, but really have everyone be involved and feel like they played a decent part in it. And yeah, that's what I would say for that question.
All right, thank you. So stay right there for your second question. So speaking of past experiences, here's your second question. What leadership experiences have you had that will directly affect your success in this position?
Right, so when I first became a freshman here, I knew I wanted to get involved in the school in some way, but I didn't want to overload myself because I didn't know how hard the school would be. So I started as a student media videographer, like the wonderful people here who are filming us. Then as sophomore treasurer, I was on class council. I got to work on events like Winter Wonderland, Culture Fair, Trivia Night, the other events we had that year. And now this year, I am SGO Vice President. I've gotten to play a big role planning the last 2 freshman orientations, executing things like open house, homecoming, club fair, working with the committees and councils we have for those. And I think, like I said before, those experiences have really helped me see how you can execute something really well while also having everybody come out of the experience feeling valued, feeling like they played a part, and not feeling like anyone was disrespected by them or to them. So I think those experiences have really shown me both how to execute an event and how to do it in a way where everybody feels positive coming out of that. And I really want to bring that experience to our events next year, and also to the 4 goals that I have that I'm going to talk about a little bit later.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm going to switch over to the questions. Yeah. Okay. You will get the same question, right? Yeah, same question. What leadership experiences have you had that will directly affect your success in this position?
So I'm going to bring it back a little bit all the way down to elementary school. So starting from there, I was the student ambassador for my elementary school, and I'd say growing up, I've kind of just followed that pathway through middle school and high school, so I'd say it's a little bit part of my personality, just being in leadership. I guess I was destined for it since I'm an older sister. But coming into Brooklyn Tech, my freshman year, I was on the freshman class council, and I have been on it for 3 years now. But beyond that, I'm a little bit nosy, so I stuck my nose in a little bit of everything, from different clubs to Key Club, NHS, DECA, you name it, I was probably there. And I think that something that's significant about that is just being able to internalize all the different experiences that I've had, all the different positions that I've held, and just being able to internalize all the lessons that I've learned in order to be a good SGO president for this school. Because I know what it's like to be from all different avenues of the school, and I know what different experiences are, what they feel like, and what you gain from that. And through that, I think that I'll be able to be a good SGO president and being able to apply what I've learned to my position.
Thank you. All right, stay right there because you get the second question. Well, whatever question we're on right now. So, how would you unpack or resolve conflict within your cabinet as president?
So I think unpacking conflict comes from two most important things that I would say is being able to be direct in what you want to say, the issues that you're having and the problem that you want to address. And secondly, being open to receiving information, to receiving different perspectives. Because conflict resolution is always about compromise. Because at the end of the day, what one person wants is never going to work. There always needs to be a middle ground. And in doing that, you need to be able to advocate for what you want, make your position clear, advocate for what you're trying to say and the point that you're trying to make, but also being open to receiving information, to receiving perspectives, and hearing what the opposite side is. Because like I said before, conflict resolution is all about finding the middle ground, and I think that I'm able to do that through not only being direct, but also being open to hearing and receiving input and different perspectives. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So again, same question. How would you be able to resolve conflict in your cabinet as a president?
Alright, so being in cabinet this year as SGO Vice President, I've experienced firsthand that cabinet is a really, really small group of people. There's only 3 of us, and the smaller the group gets, the more conflict there could be. We all have ideas, and it's each 33%, that's 33% of the idea. And I think it really taught me that you need to be really clear with your intentions. I never want to make my vice president, if I am lucky enough to be president next year, feel like I don't trust them, or that I don't value their opinion, or that I think because I'm older or have more experience, that my way always has to be the way. Maybe there is a thing that I think has to be the way that I'm thinking about it, because I know that will work the best, but then I need to explain it to them that it would work the best. I can't just say, it's me, it's my idea, and we're going to go with it. I really want to make sure that every person in cabinet feels like their voice is heard, that we go with their way sometimes, that I do hear their opinion, and that also they have a particular issue within cabinet that is their thing to be in charge of, to focus on, whether it's social media or events or transparency. It shows that I trust you, I want to delegate something to you, and I think that you can run something. And I think really emphasizing that as president to the people that you're working with shows that you value their opinion, that you value their leadership, and that you trust them to handle things by themselves.
Stay right there, thank you. So just for the student wise, just to get to know you a little better, what would you say is your favorite either anime, manga, video game, show, whatever it is, what is your favorite thing?
So I've unfortunately never watched an anime or read a manga in my life, but I think as far as TV goes, I really, really like period pieces. I've watched all of Downton Abbey and The Crown with my parents, also procedural television like any of the medical shows there are, New Amsterdam, any of the other ones. I've watched the entire thing like to an obsession, and I think that just comments on like how much I like to be active. I love watching TV where things are happening. And yeah, I'm gonna go home after this and watch all those shows with my mom today because they air on Monday, so that's what I would say.
Alright, thank you. Magical. So same question, what would be maybe your favorite anime, manga, manhwa, TV show, whatever?
Okay, so on my breaks, I spend all my time watching everything. So my favorite anime at the moment is Kotaro Lives Alone. I really love it, and it's so cute. And then my favorite graphic novels, I don't know if you guys know Raina Telgemeier. She's the artist for a very popular series called The Babysitter's Club. That's like my whole childhood. I love those series. And then my favorite show is a K-drama. It's called Reply 1988. It's about a group of friends just, going through middle school, high school in 1988. And something that I love about all those shows is that it really focuses on individuality, and I think that's something that I value a lot, just seeing what it means, what your life means to you, the experiences you go through, and how that helps you develop as a person. And as SGO president, I do value those individual experiences, and I will value them and internalize them to be able to be the best president that I can be.
Thank you. So we're going to have you stay right there, and then we're going to have our 30-second closing statements, okay? Go ahead.
So one thing that I value the most, especially in running for being president, is, I've said this before, is about change, right? Be the change that you want to see in the world. And I think that's something that's very special about that, is anyone can be a leader, anyone can promote change. And in being SGO president, I want to really just convey that idea to the school. Every single person in this auditorium, in this school, in this world, has the ability to make a positive impact. And in being president, I want to bring that out in everyone, while also showing those qualities within myself.
Okay, thank you. Great. So 30-second closing statement, please.
Hi everyone again, thank you so much for coming. My name is Brielle and I want to run to be your SGO president. I would say being vice president, it was the greatest thing this year for me. I learned so much, and my 4 goals next year is that I want to increase transparency and give you guys a voice within us, to have event review forums and things like that. I want to have monthly community focus issues to bring us together. I want to have bigger events between grades, and I'm forgetting my 4th one right now, but I think that just all shows that I know a lot of people are asking me to do things in this election, asking me to vote, follow our campaign, but there are things I really want to do for you, and I hope you vote for me and see my campaign on.
Thank you. Can we get a round of applause for our both presidents? Okay, so we move on to the sophomore council. So this first debate, the second debate is the sophomore council. It's going to be first the VPs and the presidents. VP candidates, can you introduce yourselves?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Justin, and I'm running for Sophomore Vice President.
Hi, my name is Isabella, and I'm also running for Sophomore Vice President.
Alright, so just the sophomore, just the VPs, and then and now we have the president candidates. Introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is Isabelle Alperin, and I'm running to be your sophomore president.
Hi, I'm Sophia Kim. I'm running to be your sophomore class president. I hope you enjoyed today's debate.
Thank you guys. Alright, so our first question. Oh, we're gonna go to the VP. So just with the keep on the debate going. So sophomore VPs. We'll start with that. First question is gonna go to Justin. Okay. So the question is, why are you running for the position you're going for?
I'm running for Sophomore Vice President because I believe that a Vice President and a President has very similar roles, and I believe that they both have an important role in making change. And as Vice President, I believe that I will not only support the President, but I'll also be my own leader, and I'll try to give change to the student body. But I chose Vice President because I believe that I have a more leisure time for me to be able to connect with the students, and compared to being president. So in general, I believe that it's mainly a time thing because vice president does get less work compared to a president. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So same question, Isabella. I'll repeat the question. So why are you running for the position that you are going for?
I'm running for the position vice president because I noticed that the student council, it requires a lot of helping the community and gives a lot of activities, and I noticed how much that helps the tech community, and truly inside I want to help the students and I want to bring everybody together and create a better community with harmony, since I noticed that sometimes in the community it's a little bit cliquey, but with these types of activities that the student council helps create, it makes tech a better place, and I want to help make tech a better place. Thank you.
Thank you. So stay right there. So, yeah, thank you. So we're gonna ask the second question, and then you'll answer it, and then just let it go. All right. So your question is gonna be, how do you plan on building on community and pride within your class of over 1,000 students?
Like I said in the last question, one way to build community is by giving a lot of activities, but another way is also helping support other students with different resources. Let's say, for example, a student is having trouble with their homework, helping with tutoring would make the student, improve. And I feel like those types of resources would help the student community improve. And that's pretty much it.
All right. Thank you very much. Want me to repeat the question? Yes, please. All right. So, how do you plan on building on community and pride within your class of over 1,000 students?
Okay, first of all, I want to say that so far this year, the freshman class has done great things. They have been part of multiple city team championships. They have, as I'm part of DECA myself, we went to SEC and ICDC, and we've done many great things. But I believe that in order to build pride in the class of 2028, I plan to highlight the achievements of the class by sending out weekly newsletters, and it's sort of similar to what we have currently, but I'll make them even more specific towards the class of 2028. I also plan to have weekly meetings for check-ins and suggestions, because I believe that it's important for students to really connect and for students to really have their voice heard. And lastly, I will try to host even more events for the community, because I believe that the events that we've hosted this year has greatly built pride in the class of 2028. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so you're gonna stay right there for the other question, okay? What has been your greatest leadership achievement to date?
I would say that it has to be my middle school leadership experience. I have 4 years of leadership experience so far, but in middle school I served on my middle school leadership team. I helped organize many fundraisers, and those fundraisers have raised over thousands of dollars for my school. And the money for that has went to helping the students either buying in new textbooks or desks, or they even went to just funding many events that has helped my school in general. But in conclusion, I believe that my middle school experience as being a leader is my greatest experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Isabelle? So same question. What has been your greatest leadership achievement to date?
I think my greatest leadership achievement is similar to my fellow candidates, which is in middle school. I was vice president for 2 years in my middle school, which included a lot of things like helping students receive materials or help them figure out where they're supposed to go, let's say if they're new. And it requires a lot of leadership, but it also requires a lot of support for the president. So, what else? Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. Stay there for the next question. Alright. Okay. So just to calm things down a little bit, what is your favorite music and maybe favorite genre of music?
Oh my gosh, thank you. So my favorite genre of music is K-pop. I love K-pop. I like the choreography and the organization they have, how much they're able to express themselves, whether it's real or fake, I wouldn't know, how much they're able to express themselves to their public eye, and how much they show that they care for each other and help each other as a group. Like, let's say, one of my favorite groups are Twice, and they're like a big, beautiful, happy family, and they show how they support each other, and I feel like this ties back to the vice president candidate role, because as a vice president, not only do you have to lead as that role, you also have to support others and the president, while also making sure all the students are okay. So, yeah.
Alright, thank you. We love K-pop. Join cover, please watch cover dance. Cover is the best dance group in the school. Question. No, it's okay. So just the same question, what is your favorite genre of music or favorite music?
I'm not gonna lie, but my music taste has kind of changed over the years. As in middle school, I was more kind of like an oldie. I would like classical music, but now that I've advanced onto high school, I'm more into pop now. But I'm sure that my music taste will change as the years goes on. But I believe that this change has occurred because I myself has grown as a person throughout the years. Not only has I grown academically, but as a person, I've learned to be more appreciative. I've learned to try to initiate more change, but I believe that my music change has really reflected my overall personality growth as a person. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jason. All right, so stay right there for your other question, all right? And thank you for answering. How would you support your class council, your sophomore counselor? How would you support your cabinet?
Okay. I believe that my council is sort of like is a family, because it sounds corny and all, but I truly do believe that your council will help you will help you in making every single decision and making your school year better. I would support my council by acknowledging every single person's ideas, because I believe that every single person has a voice, and as one of the previous candidates said, every single person has the ability to make change. So I believe that in order to help your council, you must acknowledge their opinions, and you must take every single body's thoughts into account and make a decision from that. Thank you.
Thank you. So same question is, how would you support your sophomore class cabinet when elected? Want to ask the question? Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I can hear you.
By council, you mean president and stuff like that?
Well, everyone who you're going to work with. If you get elected, you're going to be working with people, how would you support them?
Oh, okay. Can you repeat the question one more time, please?
Of course. How will you support your class cabinet, the sophomore council?
So, like I said from the previous question, I would help support the council in many ways. Like, let's say they need help because their mental state isn't as stable. I would help provide support for them. for, because I assume as a council we would be very close, kind of like family-like. It would require a lot of attention and care, and more than just support, it also requires a lot of respect. So I hope to not mutual respect. I hope to have mutual respect to my fellow members. Let's say the president who I'm going to be seeing all the time. Not only should I be able to support them, we should be able to respect each other and our opinions and share ideas. Not just as teammates, but as friends, because since we will be together so often, we'll be so close as a family. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right. Wait, she stays or wait? I'll try to.
Did you answer that question?
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you stay. So, what have you found to be the difficult part of being a member, not a leader, of an organization?
A difficult part of being just a member is that although you have multiple opinions and different things to say, it's you're not always able to reciprocate them or put them into action because you're just a member. You're not a leader. And so this ties into the vice president role, because as a vice president, you should listen to the members who want to make changes or feel that something is not right, and then take those opinions into account and then change whatever you're doing into making it a better place for all of them, for the entire masses. Okay. Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you. All right, Justin, same question for you. What have you found to be the difficult part of being a member, not a leader of our organization?
I, as a person, I'm a very determined person, and as Ariel said before, I have ideals, and I would like them to be met. But as a team member, sometimes some people are not as efficient, sometimes progress can be slow, and sometimes there can be mistakes. But I believe that in order to overcome this, I must acknowledge that, and I must respectfully criticize their actions, but I would give them suggestions for improvement. And of course, it's always good to remain positive and to try to give advice, as at the end of the day, everyone's human and everyone makes mistakes, but I believe that it's good to give them advice and to focus on the main goals and accomplish the task as a team. But yeah, lastly, I think that it's important to learn the differences in people and to respect that, but to really work as a team and make a compromise. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're going to stay right there, so we're going to move on to our closing statements. You have 30 seconds for your closing statement, okay?
Just to reinstate, my name is Justin Chen. I have a few goals. First of all I want to make your voice heard, and I will try my best. Remember, these are goals, but I will try my best to make your voice heard and to implement change in the school. Second is I will try to make history at Tech, because I believe that the world is constantly changing, so we must have to evolve as a school together. And lastly, I want to make a fun and de-stressing environment. And remember, at the end of the day, it's your voice, your choice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, your 30-second closing statement, please.
Thank you for having me as a vice president candidate. My goal for the 2025 to 2026 school year is to not only make Tech a better place, but to also support the students and create a more welcoming environment for not just sophomores, but for all in many ways. May that be activities, mental support, or other things. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Round of applause for both candidates, please. So we're going to be moving on to our sophomore president debates, and we're going to start with Izzy. So you go by Izzy. All right, let's start with Izzy. All right. All right. Your first question is very similar to the last. Why are you running for the position you're running for?
I'm running for this position because I want to help. This entire year, I've been a part of student leadership, which has been amazing, but I've been stuck in the backseat. I wasn't part of any high council of the freshman class, but I really want to make a greater impact other than the events I've already made. I want to make the students' voices not just seen, not just heard, but listened to. And I want everybody to be able to understand them and hear them and be able to create a welcoming environment for everyone.
All right, thank you very much. And you are Sophia, right? Okay, Sophia, same question. Why are you running for the position you're running for?
I just think that my strengths would be more effective as president rather than any of the other executive positions. So I'd say I'm a very goal-oriented person, and I want to make sure that everything's on task. So in student leadership and in executive meetings, I want to make sure that everything's running smoothly, and I want to confront all the conflicts as soon as possible, so that we can get as many events out, so that we can reach more students.
All right, so stay right there. Thank you very much. Here is your other question. What leadership experiences have you had that will directly affect your success in this position?
I'd like to start off when I was really younger. I grew up playing sports, being the team captain of my sports teams and stuff. Growing up like that, I feel like I've already learned a lot on how to connect with people on my team and how to provide help for people that need help. Because I know, especially with sports, I know it's it's really hard mentally, being constantly compared to people around you, and I want to be able to make sure that they know their worth, and also being able to speak up against changes and stuff.
All right, good.
Wait, am I allowed to add on?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then also right now,
you guys have a minute per
yeah.
answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being the freshman class president, I think I've gained a lot of experience with that. Connecting with my student body, I'm in PSAL sports and I'm in band, so I think I've learned a lot on how to connect with my student body and try to meet their needs, especially with my goals for this year, Battle of the Bands, and having a mini tech sports tournament. I think that'll be able to reach a lot of people, and I want people to have as much fun as possible this year.
All right, thank you. Remember, candidates, you guys have 1 minute to answer, so you don't have to use up all your time, but you can. All right, so same question for you is, what leadership experiences have you had that will directly affect your success in this position?
Okay, so a major one actually started in middle school. In middle school, I was captain of my debate team, and the thing is, with being the captain, it didn't just come with being in the leadership, it didn't just come with organization, it also came when knowing to step back and letting the coaches handle it as well, because I knew my place and I was able to effectively communicate with the rest of my team, and also that required me teaching the newbies on the team. I was able to teach them the format of debate, how to debate, and how to gain the best amount of points, and I even led a few teams to championships and even the finals. So with that carried into my high school experience. Right now, I'm part of student leadership, class of 2028. We make fun events, we bring the halls to tech. We're currently in the middle of our freshman spirit week, which is great, and I hope that we can make this year the best for everyone.
All right, I think you stay right there. Yeah. Thank you. All right, so your other question will be, how would you resolve a conflict if it were to arise in your cabinet?
Okay, so with conflict, there's a lot of things to be dealt with. There's the why the conflict happened, there's the how the conflict happened, there's the parties that were involved. So with that, I think a big part of me is I'm an analyzer. I always have been. I analyze situations. I'm a critical thinker. I'm an analytical thinker. So when I analyze everything, I'm able to pinpoint the problem. I'm able to see the connections between the students. And I'm also a very social person, so I'm going to be able to really connect with the cabinet, connect with the people that I'm working with, and understand where they're coming from, why the conflict happened, and hopefully help me to resolve the situation.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, Sophia, same question is, how would you resolve conflict if it were to happen in your cabinet?
Something I value a lot is transparency and being direct. I'd say I'm a very direct person, so whenever there's conflicts, I like to get over it as soon as possible, because everyone makes mistakes and stuff, and that's okay, but we still need to tell people oh, you're doing this wrong, or I would need more help on this, because if you're not communicating properly, how are you expecting for the situation to get better, Transparency is the only way that you and your team is going to grow.
So thank you, stay right there. So just to tone things down a little, so the student body can get to know you more. So a similar question is, what would you like to do on your free time, favorite shows, favorite music, anything, and you have 1 minute.
So when I'm like not an SGO, like as I mentioned before, I'm like very athletic. So I was on the JV basketball team in the winter, but now I'm in the JV soccer team. And if I'm not an SGO, you can probably find me on the field playing with my teammates. They're actually in a game right now, which we are definitely gonna win, you know. What else? Oh yeah, also when I go home, I like to play instruments, and I started off playing piano when I was younger, but after COVID, I kind of disconnected from that. But then, like starting from now, I've been trying to teach myself instruments, so I just taught myself how to play the guitar, how to play the bass, and soon I'm gonna buy the drums, so I'm like really excited about that.
All right, thank you. So it's the same question. Favorite music, show, things to do on your free time, anything.
Okay, so most of my free time I actually spend doing debate. It's a huge part of my life. I love connecting with the people I'm with. I love collaborating. I love making teamwork. My friend Eleanor is right there in the audience. We stay up all night making contentions, working over evidence, practicing for crossfire, and just thinking about how different teams will make tactics. And I think that really carries over into what qualities I would have as a good president, because I'm able to solve, I'm able to collaborate, I'm able to pinpoint situations, and I'm able to predict some of the things that might happen in the future. So with that, I'm able to effectively look at situations, and I'm able to resolve conflicts, I'm able to find solutions, and I'm able to effectively carry out arguments, which really helps in arguing for the students and being the voice for the students that a president has.
Thank you very much. So stay right there. So let's get back to the other pressing questions. Is how about this? How would you recruit more people to an event, more of the student body to an event that you guys are hosting?
Like more of the student body has already people working, or like more?
Like to attend. How would you get them to attend? How would you spread the message to get them to come in?
Yeah. So I'm a very social person. I know almost everyone in every single one of my classes. So all I have to do is just get in front of the class, take a few minutes from the teacher's time and say, hey guys, we're having an event. Please come, please join. It's going to be great. But also, we have experience with social media posts. We have Fardia sitting over there. That's amazing with coming up with posters, our current class parliamentarian. She's amazing, and she really helps get the message out. We have the message in the morning announcements. We're able to look at different people all throughout student leadership. We have people in different clubs. We have people with different interests. We have people with different hobbies. We have people on sports teams, debate teams, DECA. We have all around. And with that, we're able to effectively create a sense of community and really spread the word out by going to our club advisors, by going to our club friends, and by going to different places in order to spread the message. Thank you.
Thank you. Sophia, same question is, how would you get more people to show up to these events? How would you get more membership, more people to come through?
I think just the main thing is meeting people's needs, or you kind of listen to what your student body wants and you try to implement those into your events. Like for example, in our Winter Wonderland, one of our main attractions was the execs getting pied, and obviously like it's a little traumatic for the execs, but it was like really fun, and that's just something that a lot of people like videoed and they posted, and I want to make events like those in the future where people get excited, you know, like have fun and stuff. Like as I mentioned before, like Battle of the Bands, like I know there are a lot of like performances held in this auditorium, but I also know a lot of people that want to perform as a band and compete. And also I want to connect like teachers and students too, so like teachers and students can play together in a band, or that goes the same for sports, like a mini sports tournament. Like I know we have our like faculty versus a student volleyball game soon, and I feel like that already is getting so much traction. I feel like if we had like a bigger tournament with different sports, like I feel like that would get a lot of people hyped up.
Thank you. All right. Here's another question. How have you demonstrated your commitment to the class of 2028?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, I have a lot of other hobbies, but obviously I always make sure to prioritize SGO. If I'm doing anything else, if I'm using my time on anything else, I always remind myself, or you know, like my sports team coach, like I always make sure that SGO is my first priority. And obviously, like, occasionally, like, being honest, like, I miss a couple meetings, but obviously communication is really important, transparency is really important. I make sure to let my advisor and my coaches know when I'm missing things, and I always make up the work, communicating with my executive council, making sure that I'm on track, making sure that my executives, my fellow executives are on track. Also, like, if I'm missing student leadership for some reason, like currently I'm in my escape room committee. I make sure to tell them what we need to work on, make sure like they get things done, because like I really don't like it when you know how it's like kind of my responsibility having control over my committee, making sure they're doing the work. So if I come back and they don't do work, you know, it's like not useful. So I want to make sure that everyone's doing the work and stuff.
Thank you very much. Isabella? So same question is, how have you demonstrated your commitment to the class of 2025?
Yeah.
28, yeah.
So basically, I am a part of student leadership. Sadly, I'm not on the student council because I wasn't on social media when the post came out, but I think I've done a very big part in contributing to the events. I always make sure to plan out with my team. I always make sure to contact Ms. Z. I always make sure to be able to prioritize the SGO, the student government, and the leadership class, because whenever I look at the announcements, whenever I look at things, I always try and see what I can be doing. I always ask what I can be doing, and I always try and put myself in situations where I am able to be a help, even though I'm not in a position that would allow me to do so yet. Yeah.
All right. No, you say okay. All right. So here's another question. One more question, and then close it. All right, let me think of a troll question. What do you think of the statement, Nixon 6?
What is Nixon says?
Nixon 6? No? Oh, yeah. Never mind. Anna's in the
Alright, let's ask my favorite question to ask people at like mixers. Okay. If you were a kitchen appliance, what do you think you'd be and why?
Oh, wow. That's very unique. Okay. Can I get a second to gather my thoughts? Okay. I definitely be the kitchen rag you use. I'm not afraid to get dirty to clean up a mess. I'm not afraid to cover someone from burning. I'm not afraid to be used in different situations. I'm not afraid to apply myself, whether I'm stuck outside of an oven or I'm stuck on top of a frying pan, or I'm used instead of a glove to get a hot dish out of the microwave. I don't mind being used for anything. I'm flexible, and I love to be helped wherever I can be.
I'd say a spoon, because like I feel like I'm very good at connecting things and combining things together, you know? Like spoon is my favorite utensil too. Like I like eating my soup and my rice together, and I like eating my veggies and my chicken together. Like I like mixing things around, and like with that I can connect, well, if I were to make it into real life now, like with that I can connect people and stuff, you know? Like if I'm in band and like Miriam's an SGO, and it's like, you would think that like we wouldn't really meet because our interests are so different. Like there's always like one common factor that you can combine, and you can become something even more powerful.
Thank you, Anna, for that great question. It was better than mine. All right, so now we're going to head to our lightning. 30 seconds for your closing statement. Go ahead.
With my communication, my determination, and my transparency, I really think that I would be a strong sophomore class president, so you should vote for me.
Thank you. Okay, is it? 30-second closing statement.
Okay. My name is Isabelle Alperin. I'm trying to be your sophomore president. I have ideas, I have goals, like restoring the toilet paper to the school. Please, God help me with that. I have ways I want to help. I have ways I want to be interested in the class. I've been trying to help every single way I can, and I hope that my skill set, my analytic, my analyzing, and everything that I've said so far really helps me get your vote. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for our candidates.
here. Thanks to Mr. Tahan for the first part. So now we're moving on to the junior council debate for both vice president and president. So can the candidates just introduce themselves quickly?
Hey everyone, my name is Amy. I'm currently a sophomore in the biosci major and I'm running to be your junior vice president for next year.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Lin. I am also in the biosci major and I'm ecstatic to be a VP candidate for junior vice president.
Hi, my name is Grace and I'm going to be the finance major and I'm ready to be your junior class president.
Hi, my name is Vinny and I'm in the neurosci major and I also have a keen interest in law and I'm really excited to be a candidate for your junior president.
Hey guys, my name is Anjali Mathew. Like Amy and Nicole, I'm in the biosci major and I'm so excited to be your junior president candidate.
Okay, thank you. We're going to start with the junior vice president debate. So, Amy, do you want to give an opening remark?
Hey everyone, my name is Amy. I'm running to be your junior vice president for next year. I'm really excited to be here and through this debate, I hope you get to know more about my goals and my experience.
Hi, my name is Nicole. I am the other candidate running for junior vice president. I'm so excited and also so nervous, and I'm sure all the candidates are, but just bear with us and hopefully you enjoy what we say, and I look forward to this debate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. You can stay up. You can stay up there. All right, so the first question that you're going to get is, what experiences or skills have prepared you to serve as vice president?
Right now, I'm currently president of a community service club at Tech, and I've been in this club since the start of my high school career. I've been super dedicated to this club, which is why I'm very proud of it. I started off as just asking if I could manage their social media, and then I rose to vice president. Then towards the end of freshman year, I received the presidential position. So I am currently president and I oversee all the community service events and make sure everybody has a great time at these events. I am also vice president of a human rights advocacy club where we advocate for human rights activists, and just that's something about me which I hold leadership positions even if I'm not in SL. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Nicole. Amy, same question to you. What experiences or skills have prepared you to serve as vice president?
So since joining Brooklyn Tech, I've been in the student council and student leadership class for 2 years. For my freshman year, I served as freshman parliamentarian, so I gained skills in social media marketing, Canva, Card.co, all that kind of stuff. And then the current year, I'm serving as sophomore vice president. I was in multiple committees, including talent show, rules, orientation, and cosplay con committee, so I've experience with all those events and how they work. And in addition to that, I'm also part of outreach as a marketing designer, so again, building off those social media marketing skills, so that'll play a big role in being able to promote these events and advertise these events. And I'm also a secretary of another club in Brooklyn Tech. This was a volunteering club, so I have experience in writing minutes and keeping track of documents and all that kind of stuff.
All right, thank you. Amy? Okay, another question for you. You can stay up there. So what was a situation that you've experienced at Tech, either in a leadership position or maybe just as a student, that was a tough situation, and how did you overcome it?
I think one of the tough situations were in my committee, cosplay con committee, because a lot of us had a bunch of different ideas on how things should run, such as maybe like name changes or which clubs to contact and all that kind of stuff. And since everyone is different and they have unique opinions, it was a little bit harder to take account into everyone's opinions and try to find a solution that works for everyone. But the way we solved it was by collaborating together and trying to find a compromise, and we also got second opinions of the whole entire student leadership class. So I think being able to communicate really well with each other and work together to find compromising situations were a really good way to resolve.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Nicole, same question to you. What was a tough situation that you've experienced at Tech, either in a leadership role or as a student, and how did you overcome it?
When I say I was dedicated to that community service club, I really mean it. And when I was vice president of that community service club when I was a freshman, we had ongoing issues with the president at that time where he was causing issues with other clubs and making us seem like we are very problem-causing. So as vice president, I tried my best to resolve that conflict and first proposed that he take a break from his position and let us try to resolve and mend our relationships with other communities, because other clubs and communities in this school, all they're trying to do is also make a good impact, which in the end is what everybody's trying to do. So why would we go against them when we should continue to make better relationships and support them?
Thank you. You can stay up there. Okay, so we're just going to do one more question and then closing. So the question is, obviously considering how important communication is in this kind of role, how will you support your class cabinet that you're going to be working with in this position?
As I mentioned during my campaign post, I really emphasized supporting the president as long as being leadership partners with the president, but I also, what I see as the student council is, even though we have different positions, maybe even different levels of power, I still believe that everyone should have the same level of voice, and so does the rest of the student body of class of 2027. So, wait, sorry, can you please repeat that question? As I'm talking, I don't really remember.
Just simply, how will you support your class cabinet in this position if you were to be elected?
So as I support the president, I also make sure that the rest of the student council's voice is heard and their voice and power is equal.
All right, thank you, Nicole. And Amy, the same question to you, considering how important communication is in student government, how will you support your class cabinet in this position?
I would support my class cabinet in this position by utilizing the skills I have, such as being able to fill in any shortcomings, since I'm very detail-oriented, and also being honest about my opinions and just trying to provide feedback on everyone. I think a very important part of supporting the president and the rest of the council is being able to find anything that they need to work on or that we need to improve on together. So I think that's a really important aspect. What else? Can you repeat it again?
Just simply, how would you support your class cabinet as a vice president?
Yeah, I think I would also support their ideas by coming up with solutions for them too, such as if the president wants to be able to advocate for more student opportunities, for example, I could propose specific college trips or maybe inviting more detail or inviting career-oriented guest speakers to help the junior class. So I think I would be able to work with them to provide a feasible solution.
Okay, thank you, Amy. And so we're just going to do a closing remark quickly. So, Amy, 30 seconds first to you.
Okay, I'll try to keep this short and concise, but for junior year, next year is going to be one of the most important years of our high school career. There's going to be SAT, there's going to be APs, there's going to be all this kind of stuff like maybe preparing for colleges. So I think having a good supporter and a friend like me would be a valuable asset to you. I want to advocate for more student rights and more student opportunities, more transparency on what SGO does and communication, by providing maybe more forums on events and feedback forums, and also being able to advocate for more school spirit by spirit weeks or like major wars.
Thank you, Amy. And Nicole, to you, same thing, your closing remark, 30 seconds.
Teenagers in high school have to manage their good grades, extracurriculars, and social lives, which is very demanding for us. I want to run for VP because I care about your physical and mental well-being. Without a good physical and mental well-being, it's very hard to achieve what you wish to accomplish. So I wish to help you support your well-being so you can achieve what you wish to accomplish at Tech and have a successful junior year. Thank you.
Thank you. How about a round of applause for both Amy and Nicole, our vice presidential candidates. Okay, so we're going to move on to the presidential debate now. So we have 3 candidates, and we'll start again with an opening remark. Grace, you can go first.
Hi, my name is Grace. I just want to say that given the experience that I have in this school already, I think I'll serve as a valuable asset to you. And any campaigns, you can check out my Instagram, Grace for Prez.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Vinny, you're next.
Hi, my name is Vinny and I'm running for your junior president. If you would like to check out more details about my campaign, further than what I'm going to say here today, and follow along with my journey and see everything that I've been doing, you can follow at Vinny for junior prez on Instagram. But just quickly, I want to delve into my experience and why I would be a good candidate for you to choose and to vote for. I've had experience since I've been in middle school. I've been a leader since ever since I was young, and this has always been my passion to be part of this ever-growing community at Tech. And we're all so linked so closely together, and I just want to bring us closer and raise our school spirit and raise transparency between us so that we can always be so close and have all of these great experiences, because we only have 4 years at high school, so we must make the most of it.
Okay, and Anjali, you are the last to give your opening remark.
Hi guys, I'm Anjali Mathew and I'm currently running for your junior president as candidate. I'm so excited to be up here and I'm so thankful to the people who have helped me get along with this journey when it comes to interviews or simply asking questions to ease my concerns or ease my nervousness up here. So thank you all to everyone who's been helping out. Secondly, I'd like to, similar to Vinny and Grace, if you have any more questions or anything about my journey, please follow along on my Instagram. And I'm not here to be a dictator, I'm here to be a representative for this class and for your aspirations to become reality by taking your ideas and bringing them to the people who can implement them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anjali. You can actually stay up there. So we'll start with you to get the first question. So the question is and all 3 of you will get it. What leadership experiences have you had that will directly affect your success in this position?
Thank you. So starting off in freshman year, I was actually a part of the student leadership class where I was able to be the chairperson for the fundraising committee and the flower committee, where I was able to collaborate with others and also share my experiences with like-minded people and individuals. Secondly, this year I'm able to be a part of my varsity tennis team and as well as being the co-president of and founder of Girls in STEM. As well as an international program with the New York Academy of Sciences, where I was able to collaborate with people across the globe from Egypt to India to the US, and be able to collaborate together for a health and sciences project actually, and we were able to make that happen through effective communication and by collaboration, especially with empathy and empathy of others, and these are my valuable assets to hopefully being your junior press.
Okay, thank you, Grace. You can go next. Again, the question, what leadership experiences have you had that will directly affect your success in this position?
Well, first, in Tech, ever since joining Tech, I was able to join student leadership, which aids in planning events and bringing fun to our school. And through my 2 years in student leadership, I was able to not only connect with my fellow peers, but also gain experience in marketing and also event planning and leading. And after my freshman year, I took the initiative to run for sophomore secretary because I wanted to bring more advocacy and I wanted to be more involved. And I think given this experience of planning events, because SGO and SL, they function really different. from other leadership activities. So I feel like my personal experience being able to plan events, having planned events and etc. will really benefit the class.
Okay, thank you. And Vinny, you can answer the same question. What leadership experiences have you had that will directly affect your success in this position?
So since I mentioned before, I've always been in leadership positions ever since I was a child. I guess it's part of my nature because I was always the youngest child and I always had to take initiatives to stand out. So even in middle school, I was part of my student government. I was part of a Respect for All committee, which promoted everyone being respectful to each other. We hosted many events. And 8th grade, I was the leader of this committee. I was helping everyone understand what respect is and promoting respect in school. And then in tech, I also wanted to continue being part of these leadership positions. So I founded my own club, Let's Argument, an argumentative debate type of club, which wanted to get rid of the toxic culture that we see in a lot of debate clubs and just be a fun place where you can express your opinions and have arguments with others. And I've also been part of that student leadership class this year, which has been really eye-opening because I get to see the inner workings of our school and the events that we host for you guys. And I want to continue that journey, and I'm also...
Okay, thank you. You can stay up there, Vinny, because you'll get the next question. All right, so the next question is, since you guys just spoke about your background and experiences, now looking towards the future, what is one goal, event, or change you want to see occur at Tech during your tenure, and how do you plan to implement this change?
One change I want to see is the transparency between the staff and the students, because we're supposed to serve as this bridge between the staff and the students, and a lot of students don't know what's going on in SGO and what's going on in SL, and their voices aren't being heard. So I want to implement sort of a suggestion box type program where we'll have QR codes around the school and QR codes for different events for feedback, Q&A, anything that they want to know about us, we can tell them, and also increase our social media presence and what we show to the students so they can see what it's like being part of SGO and what it's like hosting all these events for everyone, and how they could get more involved in the school community, how they could reach out to us, what suggestions they want to implement in the school, and we can take all these factors into account and have the best path forward for all of us and not just the few of us that are being represented.
All right, thank you. Anjali, same question to you. What is one goal, event, or change you want to see occur at Tech during your tenure, and how would you implement that?
Okay, as being a candidate for junior president, and especially being part of the student body, I see this disparity between the SGO or SGO as a whole and being part of the student body. There's less of communication, and I feel like rather than being a representative and wanting to achieve my own goals and what I want and put what I want for the class, instead I want to represent the class better by putting personal agendas aside. Secondly, what I specifically love to accomplish is addressing mental health. Being a student myself, I can understand the mental health detriments of being a student when it comes to SATs coming up, APs, or just exams in text nature overall, by having more wellness care packages that we've already had during the year, during Valentine's Day and such, but more having an emphasis on them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Grace, same question to you. What is one goal, event, or change you want to see occur at Tech during your tenure, and how would you implement that change?
So first, everyone always talks about communication and the lack of communication between SGO and the student body, and I hope to be able to provide more student representation through our Instagram account, because I know a lot of people always ask me how can I be showcased and how can I voice my own opinions, and so far this year we've done interviews, and we were able to get a little bit of the students' voice through that, and I hope to bring more events such as that. And also, I know that junior year will be a really hard time for students because of APs and SATs, and the college is coming up, so they really want to lock in, right? And I want to be able to help them by providing a site where students will be able to find all their extracurriculars that relate to a certain major, and based on my secretary abilities, I'm really confident in my organization skills and etc. And lastly, because of all the stress, I want to be able to provide fun events, and given that I'm a really creative person, I know that I will be able to do so.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Actually, you stay up there. We'll do last question. So just to get a sense for your personality and just to learn about you guys, what's a random or niche sort of hobby or interest that you have at the moment that you're interested in?
Niche? Okay. This is really hard. Some general hobbies is like I like to draw. Like I'm a really artistic person, so I'm learning how to play the guitar on my own as well. And I'm also like I like to draw and stuff.
You can just also talk about other hobbies you have.
Like,
they don't have to be that. They don't have to be that niche.
Okay, I was gonna say like I can't really think of a niche hobby in general, but wait, actually, does eating count? Because okay, but I'm like a huge foodie, right? And in my free time, I enjoy going out to different places and hanging out with my friends and just like eating food in general. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Vinny, you're next. Same sort of question to you. If you have any niche hobbies or interests that you have, or other general ones.
I'm not really sure about like a niche interest that I have, but I'm like really interested in law and debate, which is why I found Edward's arguments in the first place. And since like 8th grade, I like consistently got most valuable lawyer, and I always like being part of that. But I didn't choose LAS because I'm also interested in STEM. And this summer, I'm going to be doing like an internship at a hospital, which is really like exciting for me. But I also like really like going out with my friends and just having a good time because it allows me to ease the pressure that I have like daily. And I love playing badminton with them. I love playing video games with them. Just going anywhere with my friends is like such a great time for me.
Okay, thank you, Vinny. And Anjali, same thing to you. Just talk maybe a little bit about some of your hobbies or interests that you have currently.
Okay, so I am a big family person and I love to hang out with my friends too, just like Vinny said. One of my great passions is spending time with my dad watching the Knicks games, especially with their playoff run this year. My dad has been the biggest Knicks fan since birth. He and I are both Staten Island raised, and I know many people have concerns about that, but I'm a very dedicated Knicks fan. And secondly, one of my other big passions is playing tennis, where I've developed over the years, such as my cousins who have played both for colleges and outside of school as well. I'm currently on the varsity tennis team here at Tech, and I pursue tennis outside of school as well by also helping out in my camp that I also practically grew up in, and I'm so thankful to the people around me that let my interests flourish.
Thank you. You can stay up there. We'll say Knicks at 6. You know what that meant.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go to closing remarks. 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds. Anjali, you can go first. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, I'm going to give you 3 solid reasons why you should vote me as president, and I'm going to be really direct and short and sweet about it. First of all, I want me as being part of the student body, I would want someone as representative, not a dictator, that would dictate and put what they want for the class over the benefit of the class itself. Secondly, being part of the student body and also being part of SL let me know how much student mental health is important. And thirdly, I want a bridge between SGO and the student body. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali. Grace, you can go next and give your closing remark. 30 seconds.
Can I start?
Oh, yeah, start.
Okay, so given my past, I know that SGO and like other leadership activities, they function really differently, and then when I want something, I'm someone that just puts my mind to it, and I want to be able to start immediately. So if I were to be elected, I want to be able to immediately start with my plans and give you guys the best year possible. And also, given my past experiences and other extracurricular activities, I'm really confident in my soft skills and such as time management and organization. And I'm also just a really big extrovert, so I really like communicating with you guys.
Thank you, Grace. And Vinny, your closing remark. And again, 30 seconds.
I hope through this debate I was able to provide you some insight into my campaign and into my life that you didn't previously have. And if you still have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And I just want to end this off by saying a quote I once heard is, a good leader isn't someone who uses their power to advance their own campaigns. A a good leader is one who listens to their like peers and listen to the people that they are actually advocating for and representing them all and hearing their voices, and that's what I want to do. I want to be your voice. I don't want to be a leader.
Thank you so much, Vinny. And to all of our great candidates up there, Grace, Vinny, and Anjali, how about a round of applause for all of them and all of our junior council contenders.
All right, everybody, so we are about to start the senior council debate, and moderating will be Miss Mandalay, whose birthday is in 2 days. You didn't remember me, but you remembered my birthday. Nice. Oh, I thought you did. Well, you said next up was this. Okay, anyway. I would first like to state that our presidential candidate is not up there. You only see 2 people. And the presidential candidate is Julian Lim, who is running unopposed. So we have now the debates for the vice presidential candidate, in which we have Phoebe Kim and Zachary Punnoose. Yes, I would like each of you to come up to the podium and introduce yourselves, and then we will get on to the questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Phoebe Kim. I am in the software engineering major, and I'm pretty sure most of you know me already since I am your current vice president. But once again, I am running for your senior class vice president for the school year of 2025 to 2026.
Alright, my name is Zachary Punnoose. I'm sure most of you don't know me because I'm not your senior or your junior vice president, but yeah, I'm running to be vice president of class of 2026.
All right, and Liverpool, please stay up there. For those of you that don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Okay. For the first question, I would like to ask, how do you define the term leader? And how do you work with someone who does not meet your expectations of a leader?
I think the term of being a leader is just anyone who is willing and able to take responsibility of the tasks that they're given. So even if you're just doing your homework, you can still be a leader. It does not necessarily have to be like leading a team. Just playing your part and doing your role. Part of student leadership role in committees, just being there and doing your role and your tasks that you're given is just part of being a leader. As for someone who's not being a leader, where they're expected to be, just like having a conversation first, I think is the most important part. We don't know what a lot of people are dealing with outside of school, outside of tech. So having a conversation and seeing what their circumstances might be, and then if it's a repetitive habit and there's no exigent circumstances, then they might have to be removed.
Thank you. And Phoebe, same question. How do you define the term leader, and how do you work with someone who does not meet your expectations of a leader?
I think in my opinion, a leader can literally just be anyone who's willing to stand up for themselves and help others in their own way. I don't think a leader is particularly someone, like Zach said, a team leader or a sports team leader, captain, something like that. And regarding someone who's not a leader and doesn't participate as a member, I would say I think many people know me as a very friendly and giggly person, and I'm very understanding and I'm willing to listen to others, like they might be going through something that others might not know, and if anything, I will take it up with adults if they still refuse to cooperate with the rest of the team.
Thank you. Give an example from your life of how you will support the elected class president. This could be based on group work, family siblings, or any other student activities or clubs.
As I said before in my introduction, I am the current vice president. I've been here for 2 years now, and I will definitely say in our group chat there has been many conflicts and there has been some arguments, not super serious, so don't worry, we work well together. But but sorry, that was Mr. V laughing at Kosa. But anyways, so other than that, I'm usually the quiet type of person. I don't like to argue that much. So I'm usually the one, like I said before, willing to listen. I'm a very, very friendly type of girl, person, candidate. So I will definitely be the one to ask others how they're doing and why this conflict has been caused. And I'm usually the one to go up to the other person first and try to initiate a solution between the two. Oh, or just the conflict.
Okay, and Zachary, give an example from your life of how you will support the elected class president. This could be based on group work, family siblings, or any other student activities or clubs.
Yeah, so one of the things I'm pretty proud of is me and my friends, we started an event at our church, and it's like basically a youth event. So as a part of that planning process and everything, we were all very collaborative on it. So there's about 5 or 6 of us that were on calls every week just discussing planning and stuff like that. So even though that was like more of we're all equal partners in that, I think that experience has given me a lot of understanding on how just to work with other people, especially being vice president is more a supportive role to the president, but you still have to do a lot of the tasks that are necessary for that role, I guess. And so, yeah, I would say that personal experience of being a leader in another event has led me from that.
Thank you. What challenges do you foresee if elected, and how do you plan on overcoming them?
I think some of the challenges that we've historically faced as a class I'm not gonna like say anything terrible about our events, but I think there could be a lot more planning done beforehand, like specifically for like early planning. Because I know a lot of the planning we do is really good, and I think just making sure that we start early is the most important part. So like if we start too late with whatever it is, like with working with people outside like clubs or venues, if we start campaigning too late, it just doesn't lead to a successful event. So I think that is like one possible conflict that we could have for that. Just starting early is my biggest thing, how we would solve that.
What challenges do you foresee if elected, and how do you plan on overcoming them?
I definitely see a challenge within the class of 2026 not understanding the limitations that us as a class council has in SGO. I definitely believe that many of the students don't know what the student government does and how we plan our events. I have kids asking me to fix the elevators. Like, guys, I can't do that. Come on, like I'm not a technician. But honestly, to try to fix that problem, I definitely would want to work with the student government cabinet and probably film reels and definitely advocate or like just share Instagram posts to the class, to the student body, and just let them know what we as a council can do to fully just fulfill their needs.
What was the biggest mistake you made when delegating work or responsibility, and what did you learn from this?
I would say my sleep schedule. I think Mr. V knows because one day he emailed me at 3 a.m. and I was the first person to respond at 3 a.m. But yeah, honestly, it's an ongoing issue, but I don't really find it an issue since it doesn't bother me as much as many others are concerned about my health. But like Mr. V considers it, he considers it as like work hour. So like I sleep from like 10 to like I don't know, 10 to 3-ish, so that's still 5 hours. And also, I feel like many of you should consider that my commute is 1 hour and 30 coming from Staten Island. So yeah, I feel like one of my problems is sleep schedule, but I'm working on it, so yeah.
What was the biggest mistake you made when delegating work or responsibility, and what did you learn from this?
Yeah, I think, let's see, biggest mistake. I think that part of the responsibility of like being a leader is making sure you can read the people that you're leading. And so just looking at, like, to use the same example as last time, the event that we were planning, looking at who is best suited for what responsibilities, and sometimes you read that wrong. So for example, there was one scenario where I was trying to figure out who would be the best person to do a social media post, or like be in that post. And I completely misread the situation, and that person did not do the best job, so we actually had to do it again with a different person. And so I think just learning from that mistake, like, it's not a huge deal, but I think just making sure you can be able to tell who in your class is best suited for which events or which roles and committees and stuff like that is the most important part.
What do you really want voters to know about you?
I think that voters should just know that I'm a friendly person. Like, in general, if you see me in the hallway, come say hi. Like, I think that being like a class vice president, senior class president, or vice president, the most important part about it is just like being able to communicate with the students and do the events. Because like Phoebe was saying, like, a lot of people aren't exactly sure like the difference between SGO and student leadership. They're pretty similar organizations, but student leadership, we're focusing a lot on the events and communications that you see from our Instagram posts and stuff like that. So I just want voters to know that I'm a friendly person and I like to get stuff done quickly.
And Phoebe, what do you really want students to know about you, or voters to know about you?
So I'm not copying Zachary's answer, but I have been saying this for like my past responses, but I am a very, very understanding person. I'm very friendly. You will mostly see me grumpy when I do not have sleep, when I do not get my sleep. So, but other than that, I am usually very bubbly, very smiley and laughing throughout the hallways. So I hope many of the voters will understand that I'm willing to listen to all of your concerns and needs. And I know senior year is probably considered the second most important year after junior year, as it is our last year at Tech. So I just truly hope that everyone is not afraid to contact me or say hi to me in the hallways. I'm usually jumping in the hallways, so feel free to talk to me anytime.
Okay. And this will be the last question before your closing. Give an example of a time when your values and beliefs impacted your relationships with your peers.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Give an example of a time when your values and beliefs impacted your relationships with your peers.
This is quite a tricky question, but I think I would say, if many of you don't know, I am currently in my orchestra. I'm part of the highest orchestra level, you can say, and many of the students there are very competitive and they're very focused on the music, but I rather like to be there for entertainment. I feel like although this is an academic-based school, I feel like orchestra is a class time where you can really just truly have fun and just enjoy yourselves playing music rather than being competitive with each other, because why compete with each other when we're already attending an academic-based school? So I feel like Most of the time, I try to uplift the room, although Mr. T finds me not serious. But I truly try my best to really make everyone laugh in that class. I just truly hope everyone understands to have fun.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. Give an example of a time when your values and beliefs impacted your relationships with your peers.
Yeah, like I said in the last question, I think one of my most important beliefs is like a hard work ethic. So that doesn't mean you have to be like getting the best grades in your classes or doing like 1,500 extracurriculars. It's just like making sure that you're trying in whatever you're doing. And so I think Phoebe can do a test. It's like we've been on calls with like 5 other people at 4 a.m. studying for history test the night before. So just like making sure that you kind of give it your all, whatever you're doing. Like I said, that doesn't have to be doing so much that it's overworking yourself, but giving it everything that you got.
Thank you. All right, and if you could please give your closing statement, and you will have 30 seconds.
All I have to say is my name is Zachary Punnoose. If you haven't been paying attention, you should vote for me. My Instagram is ZP for VP, very simple. And Nixon 6.
Thank you. And Phoebe, you have your closing statement, and you have 30 seconds.
Once again, my name is Phoebe Kim. Thank you for everyone watching, and thank you for those who stayed till the end. I'm running for Senior Vice President. I truly hope that everyone will understand that I'm willing to listen to all of your needs and desires. I truly just want to make your senior year memorable as it is your last year before attending college. I do not have a catchy Instagram, but it's just Phoebe for Vice on Instagram. Follow me for more information. Thank you.
Thank you both. Great job, everyone. All right, thank you, candidates. And I guess that brings us to the end of today's SGO debates. Yes, and everybody please